I got it at the Hokkaido or the Sapporo Beer Museum when I was over there. But I plan on claiming those posters. I just have to buy frames.
Mm.
Uh, let me see. I also took some notes about what we did last episode. Hey everybody, welcome to episode 2 of You, Me, and Dice. I'm Eddie,
I'm Tommy.
and I need posters. I need to put up posters.
Oh,
That's the posters I need to put up.
well, it's not like they're gonna see the posters.
So no, no, they're gonna see the posters, but maybe one day, right? I was thinking about that. I was like, what if one day we decide to do like a video one too?
Yeah,
And
I can see that.
yeah, and I was like, well, where would I be able to do it?
I would have to fix my posture.
Yeah,
need to wear
well,
those-
nah, you can just fucking chill, just fucking
I need to wear one of those rigs, you know.
like to fix your spine.
Yeah, the exoskeleton.
Exoskeleton.
Yeah.
I was thinking of a corset.
No, yeah. I don't know if you've
corset.
seen those things. Yeah, it's like it's almost like some banding that they put on your back, and it's like just cheap, and it just helps you stay straight.
I think I've heard of it.
No.
I think I've heard of it. I feel like I should go put the dog in the thing because they're gonna hear everything. Oh, there she goes.
She's gone.
Yeah, she's gone. Yeah. But yeah, well, I was listening to when I was listening to the podcast, going through it, editing it. There's a lot of stuff that we kind of. And it's like, what can we go over? Stuff that we left for like another one.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the stuff was one thing I wanted to mention, like giving the DM like creative liberty.
Okay.
So I was thinking that could be our topic for like later on.
What do you mean by that though? Like giving DMs creative,
Like creative liberty with like your character.
as in like you, the PC, let the DM work his magic with your character? Is
Yeah,
that what you mean?
if they're able to work magic. I think we can talk about that a little bit later.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I get you. Okay.
yeah. And like maybe like a pros and cons kind of thing. Not so much.
One of the things I wanted to talk about probably was also I think we should talk a little bit about our DMing styles, right? And I feel like there's a couple things I want to improve on as a DM, and I think like just voicing them would probably help me out in that.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like putting it out there, getting the idea there, so you can
Like we both played in each other's games.
yeah.
So what would be some good things that we do, and some like things that you would like for improvement, right?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this. I mean, I mentioned it before where I was like, I felt I'm very critical of myself and like a lot of choices that I make. But I think I know for me, I know for sure it's like I really like would want things to go a certain way because I want a certain experience for the players. And I think in my time DMing, I think my biggest mistake was where I was DMing mostly for myself and not for the players. Does that make sense? Whereas like I wanted to accomplish a goal like in the story for everybody, what I had in mind, and I really was trying to drive it that way while masking it as I'm not really driving it that way.
As in, okay, so a lot of people call that railroading, right? You're railroading the story to the ending that you want.
So it was a railroading, but more like you're just on a train. You're on a train, but you can change different paths. But you got to stay on the train, right? Like I choose your mode of transportation. I feel like that's what I was doing. And
So you don't like the whole sandbox idea. You like more like
no, I like the sandbox idea. I didn't like what I was doing, and that's why I think that's one of the reasons why I started getting uncomfortable DMing, because I was like trying to stop to not do that, and I was like I couldn't figure out how.
So do you mean like, okay, you were putting the story out that you wanted initially, but then you saw, like I'm guessing you saw how the story was going, or how it was progressing little by little, and you're like,
Okay, so
this is not the right way.
I'll tell you I think what it was. I think it was like because we were playing over Discord that it's difficult to read the room, right? And it
Mhm.
was a lot of new players,
Okay.
so it often felt like, okay, well, the players are deciding what they want to do, so let me decide for them. So it became a lot of me having to decide for them,
Yeah.
but it felt like I was still kind of railroading them because it was difficult. It was difficult to play, right? Like I said, it was all new players.
Yeah. Essentially. Yeah. A lot of
So
new
and
players.
usually every time I've DM, it's been like the majority have been new players.
Hmm.
Um, so I think that was what was difficult. What was difficult was that I think they weren't sure what they could do, and because you can't read the room, you can't look at each other and all that. Nobody is nobody knows what to say. So then I end up pushing them a certain direction.
Well, I'll give you the other side of the coin for that. I was DMing for a bit with a group that again they're all like veterans. They've been playing for I think our sessions have been going for 3-4 years,
Mhm.
right? Uh, and I really got to be on my toes because I'm setting the story up for this way, right? But they're like, no, wait a minute. I want to go south. I want to go this way because I remember 2 or 3 sessions ago you mentioned this person might have a magic item that will help us defeat the thing. I'm
Yeah,
like, okay, yeah, cool, but you're on a time crunch on that, so
yeah,
are you sure you want to go that far? So then it's sort of like, okay, it's sandbox. Yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind a couple filler adventures to get there, and
yeah.
but that's that directive, right? That's them like directing everything. But I think with like new players, they don't like you say they don't know they have that freedom, right?
Yeah. And
Um,
it's really difficult.
all you tell us is like, hey, you got to go take supplies here. You got to go through this road. That's all we know. We don't know the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's definitely was one of the reasons why I didn't want to keep DMing. I enjoy it. I really do enjoy it,
Hmm.
but I I much prefer DMing in person.
Hmm.
Like,
I think that's nicer too as
yeah,
well.
and it's a bit more.
The only reason I don't DM like out of person is because I'm not proficient in Roll 20.
Yeah,
So I'd rather just do it
yeah,
at the table.
yeah. I mean, I like Roll20 for its convenience for like when we were spread across the globe
Mm-hmm.
and I was running a game, but I love like physical, man. I love miniatures. I love the map. I love being in the room, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like feeling like that energy, like having a lot of good moments where it's like where you're just having a good time with people. It's like you're hanging out,
Yeah.
and it's really hard to do, you know, online, and you don't see anybody's faces.
Yeah.
You don't know what somebody else is doing on the other side of the screen. Like they could be, on their phone. They could be masturbating. They could be eating. It's a plethora of things that they could be doing that we
Mm-hmm.
don't know. And so you're like, well, are they paying attention?
Yeah.
Because it's quiet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you could be talking, describing something, and it's quiet, and nobody's making a sound because they want to hear, right?
Yeah, they're trying to
But at
hear.
the same time, it's like it's very quiet. Like if you drop like a bomb, right? You're like, oh, it's this person. Like you don't get that same reaction,
Mm-hmm.
online as you do like that you do like in person, where they're like, oh, like oh shit, and like you get really excited because everybody's like trying to listen, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think I playing DMing online definitely doesn't work well with me.
Mm. I I do use whenever I am at the table or whatever with people I do like Discord message them like PM them, right?
Yeah,
Um,
and you've done that with us,
yeah.
and I do like that. Well, and that's an easy way to send secrets and
Mm-hmm.
whatnot.
Secrets or like if I want to convey a creature, I usually just pull it up and like, oh, this is what you're looking at. I know I don't have the right mini for it, but this is what you're looking at, right?
That's the power of the imagination, though.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but sometimes,
Sometimes you want the many, right?
yeah. Sometimes
Yeah.
you just want the mini. Sometimes I want them to see like a horror, right?
Yeah, like just fucking an abomination.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking, so these shelves that I put up, I was thinking about putting my painted miniatures up here. Getting more.
Mm.
I don't want to do the mini ones because I'm very bad at like the little ones.
Yeah.
But you saw my big one,
The giant.
that is a specific creature, but he has a club.
Oh, for
Forgo.
I don't remember. It's
Some-
like giant kin.
It's like giant kin, yeah.
It's a subterranean giant.
Yeah, so I was thinking about getting some figures that are that size
Mhm.
to paint them and then like put them up here or put them up somewhere.
By the way, I got a comment about this a couple about our first episode, and some people don't know what DMing means. They just like, what's DMing? So that's being a dungeon master or game master. You know, essentially you create the world around the players and tell them what's happening. You explain to them, you know, you're the villain, you're the shopkeep, you're everything in the world. If you have to play a blade of grass that they're talking to, that's you.
Mm-hmm.
And
Tree,
yeah, whatever.
anything.
And you gotta sort of give them all the details about their surrounding, right? That's essentially what the DM does. But I always tell people, you know, like tabletops. I think the best way to describe it is like collaborative storytelling.
Yeah, absolutely.
With dice being your
Decision maker.
decision makers, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, just so future reference, DMing, dungeon master, game master, whatever you
Game
want to call
master,
them.
yeah. It's all the same.
Yeah.
It's all the same.
Yeah.
So I think Dungeon Master comes from Dungeons and Dragons.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows? Maybe they'll just. I don't know. I think they backtracked supposedly on that OGL.
Yeah, they a little bit. Yeah, from what I heard about the OGO 1.1. Yeah, there were a lot of people saying I don't know if it's right, it's true, right? But a lot of people are saying like, oh, they just view us as currency. You know, we're the obstacle. The community is the obstacle to the bag. That's what they're. That's one of the leaks that I saw, like
Yeah.
from an employee.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if that's true.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I heard you know, whoever's running the show is used to be the CEO for Microsoft.
Yeah.
And you know, she was really into microtransactions. So they're saying that's probably in the works for us somehow. But a lot of people got rid of their subscriptions to D&D Beyond.
I got rid of it.
I still have mine.
Well, I got rid of it because I'm having to make some financial decisions recently. I'm getting rid of a lot of subscriptions.
Were you doing the
I was doing the best one. The
the
big one.
49, the like $50 yearly one or $60
Yeah,
yearly one?
yeah. So I was doing that one, but I was like, but it was doing the monthly one.
Oh, you're running the monthly
I
one?
was doing the monthly one.
I run the year.
The yearly. Yeah, no, I
Because
got
it's like $60 for a year, I think.
yeah. So I got rid of it for now until you know.
Yeah.
Until things look a little bit better.
Mhm.
But yeah, I got rid of. I had some subscriptions that I fucking forgot about.
Yeah.
I had like some subscriptions for it was through Microsoft. One was like a memory storage one, which I was using for when I was doing streaming videos or whatever. I didn't have a big enough memory on my computer,
Mhm.
so
Now you do.
now I do. Got
Just
fucking
slap that
500
back.
gigabytes on it.
Yeah.
But so I was using the cloud one, so I
Mhm.
could store it in the meantime. But I forgot to cancel it. I had that one. I had one for like Word, for the.
Damn, that's monthly?
Yeah, I thought I had it forever.
I thought it's just like, oh, you
Like you pay
you
once
unlock it and
and that's it.
that's you're good to go.
Yeah, and then I
Holy
had
shit. Wow, really making their money, Microsoft is.
and then I still had the Xbox Game Pass for PC, and I completely forgot about it. So I was basically losing $20 a month. And then I went on there, and the thing was, it's like I was looking at my bank statement, and I was like, I don't know what these are. It doesn't say what it is.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
just says Microsoft whatever. So I went to go look for it, and it was really hard to find. Like I had to go through like stub menus to get to it.
I hear that there's apps now that like I don't know how it works, but they see all your monthly recurring fees,
Yeah.
and they just put them in a thing for you, and they're like, okay, it's to this. We can we'll cancel your subscription for you.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, those are out there. I
Yeah.
went and did it the manual way.
yeah, which is it sounds harder. You have to go through fucking
Yeah,
subsections
to
and
fucking
shit.
and oh god, it gets me every time. It's like I can't remember which one it was, but I was like, I want to cancel this, and they're like, I had to scroll through so many fucking like advertisements and shit to be like, are you sure you want to cancel this? And like, this is what you're gonna miss. This and this and this. Yeah, I don't give a shit. That's why I'm canceling it.
Yep.
But I cancel that. I just the one thing I did keep is the Spotify. I love music. I want to keep listening to music. I kept my Criterion channel one because I can't get old movies anywhere else. Criterion channel.
I don't know what the fuck this
So
is.
Criterion. So they basically take a lot of like they take mostly like older movies,
Okay.
and they take older movies. They take foreign movies. Basically, if it's not on any of the mainstream, I would say
Streaming
quote
up.
unquote mainstream streaming services,
Okay.
you'll probably find it there. It's like it's like I keep saying like fuck. We talked about this. Like we say like a lot.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like
Alright. Stop talking. Stop. Whoa.
wait, I'll work on it. I got it.
All right.
It's basically
Okay.
movies from the 40s, 50s, 60s, the 30s.
Gone with the Wind.
It's
Groucho Marx movies.
all the good stuff. All a
Whatever happened to Baby Jane.
a lot of old classics.
Mm.
Stuff that you can't find
Have you ever
anywhere
seen
else.
that, by the way?
Which one?
Whatever happened to Baby Jane.
No.
So it's a movie. I think it's one of the first movies that had a curse word in it.
Oh, really?
Oh, I think it was the first one that was like featured that had a curse word in it. When the curse word
Was it dang?
bitch, I think.
Oh, okay.
I think so.
But was it in reference to a dog?
No,
Okay, it was,
it was
a
a
reference.
reference. So, spoilers.
Yeah,
It's about a if I remember correctly, I saw it like it must have been when I was in 7th grade. It's about two women, both or one of them. One of them was an actress, but it's her golden years, so she's no longer relevant,
Yeah.
right? But one of them is taking care of the other because one of them is, I think, disabled,
Right.
if I remember correctly. And it goes into really bad things after that. It's really good though. It's a really good movie. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Well,
Black and white, by the way.
black. Oh yeah, I mean, that doesn't bother me at all. The majority of the movies on the Criterion channel are black and
Black
white,
and white.
but they're so good, man. I've watched a few already that are really good. I got a chance to watch Rashomon. Rashomon. I think that's how it's pronounced. Rashomon. I have a computer here.
Oh, is that what these are?
Yeah, these were these. So it's actually Rashomon is actually a Japanese tale,
Okay.
a Japanese book, and it was made into a movie by Akira Kurosawa. So he's a very famous Japanese director. And I watched it. It was really interesting. It's like there you go.
There you go.
There you go.
There he went.
So you have four. I think there were like four different characters.
Okay.
You had like the samurai, I guess like the princess or the lady.
Mhm.
You had the bandit, and then you had
The
yeah,
popper, maybe. A
yeah,
beggar?
like a poor guy or
A
something.
popper beggar.
Pauper beggar, yeah. And all three of them have a different telling of the story,
Okay.
and it's really good because each one is very different, and it's like, oh, whose story is true?
Yeah.
Like,
Everyone's done in a different light for each one.
yeah. Hold up, I'm gonna go take her.
Yeah. She's being
I'm multi good.
yeah. She's being a bitch. So Rashomon seems like an interesting film. Haven't seen it. Maybe they'll do a remake. Like everything else. They like making a lot of remakes for this generation. I don't know why. I guess it's good stories to tell for a newer generation, newer cast, woke.
Well, yeah. I was listening to some other. Well, I was listening to the podcast and I was having a conversation with a good friend of mine, and we were talking about how Americans are very privileged in so many things,
Okay.
right?
I think you elaborate on this. I hope.
Yeah, yeah. So privilege in the fact that we get, not we, but I would say a lot of people have the opportunity to pursue things such as everything with like the sexuality and gender spectrum, and they have all these like marches and the outcry and trying to get it established so like everybody can be whatever they want, right?
Okay.
And that is a privilege of those who don't have, of those who have their basic necessities, right?
Are you saying like too much privilege or?
No, no, no. It's just the privilege of being in a country like the United States. Like we have the privilege to criticize where we live at, right?
Yeah.
Like, does that make sense?
No, that's true. I
Yeah.
mean,
For example, I've seen kids
mhm.
like from 8 to 10 years old fist fight over a handful of dollars or over a little thing of cereal, right?
Oh, you're talking about like another
In
country.
other countries,
Oh, okay.
like that's what I mean. It's like we have that privilege to, because what are the, you're not concerned about getting cereal.
Yeah.
You're not concerned about some of the things. I mean, some people probably are concerned, and some of those people probably aren't worried about their where they are on the gender and sexual spectrum.
Hmm.
So it was I just thought it was a curious, interesting thing,
Yeah.
right?
I mean,
Like you're not seeing kids like here in the U.S. They're not fist fighting each other over
we got first world problems, is what you're saying, right?
exactly
What's on our mind is we have first world
first
problems.
world problems. Yeah.
No.
So
Ah, fuck. Like
yeah,
the new
and
episode just passed, and I
another
didn't
episode.
fucking.
Yeah,
I didn't. Yeah, I get you.
and I thought I was just thinking about it because I was like, okay, yeah, I'm aware of it, but then I compared it to like my experiences, which I hadn't thought about in a while, which is like, oh yeah, I've seen kids fist fight each other over some Cocoa Puffs.
Hmm. Well, you do go cuckoo for cocoa puffs.
You do go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, yeah, yeah.
You can't.
So I was like, oh yeah, okay, so that was a nice thing. I don't know. Oh, I don't know why I came up with that, but I was just it was on my mind, and
Well, there's a good time to let it out. Um.
mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna backtrack a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
Back to a little bit of DMing. Um. So I feel like one of my faults when I play, or when I run, when I run a game, I tend to run my more encounter heavy. I feel like my adventures are more encounter heavy than social heavy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And even at that point, um, I've always been told, even when I was running back in at the game store beyond the dungeon, that hey, your encounters are hard.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, okay, I get it, but and my thought was always like, well, if I don't make it hard, they're just there twiddling their thumbs. They're just like, okay, yeah, that guy's got done, that guy's done, and just, I see it that they get bored sometimes, right? When they're hard, or when they're easy, um, and I feel like we just wasted like 40 minutes. That's why I sort of amp up the difficulty, and I always like to push my player characters, my everyone that's at the table. I like to push them to make critical decisions, and um, you're an adventurer. You want them to try to strive for greatness, and you want them to feel um, like every battle is gonna be an uphill battle. Um, at least that's how I run it. That's how I
Yeah,
run it.
yeah.
It's like every battle is an uphill battle. You know, your metal is going to be tested because of the life you chose, and this is. I mean, it's just a lot more. It's a lot more telling story.
Mm.
Um,
So that's a style that you like to be a part of? Like as a player, do you like it to be like really tough?
yeah, I even like a lot of people say, "Oh, mid maxing bullshit, mid maxing is bullshit," right? But you can mid max and still make a very interesting character, right?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I like being in part of like I like having like my actions, will probably have consequences, but I have to pick my actions very carefully. Am I going to heal my friend? Or am I going to try to take this guy down before he gets another hit on my friend?
Yeah.
You know? Um,
So is it like every encounter is like that, or is it like you throw some
so
easy,
so
you sprinkle some easy ones in
I
there?
sprinkle. It's rare that I sprinkle them, but I do sprinkle some that are medium-ish or like I try to sprinkle medium or hard, but they end up just steamrolling them. And I don't mind them feeling like, oh, look at us, we're fucking powerful. We like I'll tell you this, even in my most difficult encounters, there's the player characters are still dealing like 69 damage.
Hmm.
There was one time where one of the characters dealt probably on his turn alone 120 to 140 damage and took down like three giants, and that was supposed to be like a deadly encounter, but they just steamrolled it
Hmm.
like nothing. Like they were, it was just another day at the fucking ball game. Um, so I like to sprinkle those in because like it lets them test their new abilities and let them feel powerful, and then right afterwards they feel like, oh shit, well, since you're here at this level now, these are the guys you're facing now, right?
Right.
And
Right.
and it's always gonna be that catch up game, right? Where it's like I have two scenarios for my end game. One of them, again, the session that I'm running, it's I think I'm in chapter 3. So next chapter probably the fourth chapter. They're all level 12 characters. But one of the PCs, his name was John. He was playing, or well, one of the people that I'm one of my friends. His name's John. He was playing a dwarf storm cleric. His storm cleric is now an evil guy because he was a worshiper of Talos, and Talos, god of storm, god of
Yeah.
he's just evil god, right? So he sort of retired the character. He wanted to try new characters out. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna, if you don't mind, like I would like to use him for the story. And he was like,
Right.
yeah, that's fine. Go crazy. So that's gonna be one of the last, like, the semi fight before the finale.
Yeah.
It's gonna be one of those last fights, like where he the worshiper of Talos has gathered. I think they call them the Furies, which is like the Furies are like that god, and it's like entourage,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it's gonna be like that their aspects. Like each one is gonna have like, oh, I'm the worshiper of this god. I'm like the chosen champion of this god, chosen champion of this god, and so he's getting an entourage together to essentially end the world,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the whole spiel of the evil god and the world.
Yeah. Of course.
But they're friends. They used to be friends with the party, so it's gonna be a clash of old friends, and I can't wait for that.
Yeah. He,
Um,
he doesn't listen to this, does he?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But he sort of knows because
Okay.
they I've already dropped the character in Torben.
Yeah. Okay.
Like they have seen Torben after a 3 year period,
Okay.
in game
Yeah.
3 year
Yeah.
period, and he's different. He's built for tough, right? He has
Yeah.
a fucking he has a spoiler. He has a built of cloud giant. So
Ah.
that's just mwah. But yeah,
That just makes
um,
his dick huge.
yeah, exactly. It just makes his beard reach his dick, and his dick reach the floor.
Spiral belt.
Fireball, legendary. Um, but again, I feel like I've heard that about my gaming style is like it can be a little tough. Um, and
I think also you need to have the players in agreement, right?
that they're yeah.
Because if they go into it not knowing, then it's a bit.
I can't I'll tell you this: I can't run tables like that for newbies.
Yeah, of course not. Of
Yeah,
course not. Of course
I
not.
run that for like again, they're veterans. They're all veteran players, have more than 4 years under the belt. They know what they're doing. They know what the characters do. I have one character, one friend. All she plays, from what I've seen, I think she tried once, right? But all she plays is sorcerer.
Mhm.
Sorcerer, like from the 3 4 years that I played with her, she knows her meta magic down to a T, right?
Yeah.
Typically Dragonborn, by the way, but she's mixed it up in my game, and
So
she's
is it a specific sorcerer subclass, or is it just
no,
in the sorcerer
she as
class?
so I think her last she played Draconic. I think she typically plays Draconic. I think that's her favorite one. But for this one, for my campaign at least, she's playing Shadow Sorcerer, Shadow Magic. Mhm.
I've always wanted to play a wizard. I don't think I've ever played a wizard.
Mm.
I always end up as a cleric or a fighter.
Well, I think you said you like flat fighters a lot.
I really do, yeah. But it's just me wanting to like dabble in other stuff.
Um, yeah, yeah. I mean, like I said, with John, he wanted to dabble. He ended up being like a monk rogue, and I think he played like 3 or 4 sessions with that character and it died.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, I mean, dying's natural, right? Like
Yeah.
you have a healer that can bring you back. You want to play him again? And he's like, no. I'm like, are you sure? Like they can bring you back. And
Yeah.
he's like, no, I want to keep trying other things.
Yeah.
So now he's a paladin. Gross paladin. It's like I don't know if you know the wombo combo of Polearm Master Sentinel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, okay, with a glaive or whatever,
Yeah,
Polearm.
just yeah.
But he took that one step further, and he is a bugbear. So that is
Yeah.
a 15-foot reach.
That was a long ass reach.
That is a 15-foot reach of a no-go zone.
Yeah.
You do not step into the zone.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
Disgusting. I must admit. But you've been a part of a couple of my games, and I ran Strahd for you. Some of the encounters are hard. I take it. Some of y'all struggle a
Yeah.
little bit, but y'all end up winning. When y'all win, you're like, "Brr."
Yeah.
It's tough fought, but like it looks like y'all took it on the chin and
Well, I know for me, it's as long as I get to play.
mm.
Really, it does suck whenever I'm not hitting because there's sometimes where like I just can't hit
Oh
shit.
yeah.
Right. But for me, it's as long as I get to play.
Mhm.
I like playing, and I like the game with friends.
Mhm.
Is what I enjoy. And whether it's hard, it can be like a combat heavy campaign. It could be a story heavy campaign. I think as long as I get to play and roll some dice, I'm happy with either one.
Yeah.
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 But no, I'm not I don't consider myself a super picky or yeah, I don't consider myself a super picky person.
Mm.
You know, I'm not.
Look, I get what you mean. Super picky, like I'll play any game, right?
Yeah.
But I think you were in that table with me when we played at one of my other friends' house, Ben.
Yeah.
And I personally didn't like how the story was going. And it's just a couple things, right? It was the story and like some of the rulings that were
They were a little odd. Yeah, I
right?
get
It
what
was
you
like a
mean.
mixture of rulings,
Yeah.
like from other editions, I think maybe. And I was like, yeah, the thing hit chief, right? So
Yeah.
I think I gave the proposal of like, hey, I'm thinking about running Curse of Strahd. You wanna get on in on that? And yeah, that's where we ended up going.
Yeah. Well, I would say what threw me off was the whole all the Japan stuff.
Yeah, like I think in his story he had like some sort of Yakuza operation.
They're straight up Code Yakuza. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was just a lot of real world names of things.
Mm.
I think one of them like Osaka and one of them was Tokyo and Kyoto, and there's like some Japanese stuff in there. And having come back from Japan, I was just like, it's just
Yeah.
it's just from for me.
Hmm.
I like to come up with names. I like to make anagrams of names,
Yeah.
mix them up, stuff like that. I don't like using names that already exist.
Speaking of anagrams and mixing of names, right? That's what I do. If I find like something that I like, oh, like a certain town or something like that, or city, or even characters. Like I think I played a bugbear. No, not a bugbear. A like a shifter human, and I was like, he's gonna be barbarian, totem bear, barbarian. What can I name him? And I'm like, Urson. Like what bears? Their Latin name is Ursa,
Yeah, yeah,
right? So
yeah,
I just called him Urson. Yeah, bear.
yeah,
It's essentially bear.
yeah. It was better.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I like that.
I use that, so like I look up things in
Yeah,
Latin or like other languages,
yeah,
and I usually use that. Like one of my other characters, I played a trident bard,
mhm,
and I named him Nero. Nero, I think, is like water in Latin.
yeah,
I named him Nero Van Vat. No, Nero Van Vat. So it's water, water, water.
yeah.
It's water in three different languages.
What are the different ideas?
I think it's like Finnish and another like Rome or Latin. Yeah, stuff. But it worked. It
Yeah,
worked.
yeah. I prefer it. I prefer it. And I was actually thinking about it right now. I was like, why do I prefer it?
Mm,
And I think it's not so much the creative thing. Is the it takes me out of the game,
mm,
right?
yeah.
Like in my mind, I've been to the places that they were mentioning,
Mm,
and I know the real world equivalents.
yeah.
So whenever whenever he was talking about like whatever Japanese city or whatever, and he named it, and I was like, well, now I'm just thinking about this building there.
Yeah.
Now I've seen it. Now I know what it is. So it was taking me out of the game. And in my mind, whenever I play a game of D&D, I'm painting pictures.
How fantasy are you going? Like when you go with D&D, how high fantasy do you like?
I'm not going all the way high fantasy.
Yeah.
I enjoy some like steampunk in there,
Okay.
like sprinkled around there. I really enjoy that little mixture. Is what I enjoy. So I'm not going like high fantasy,
Mm.
as in like, oh my lord, my lady.
Yeah, yeah. Because
I don't.
I think we're playing like one or two sessions of another one of my friends' group, and his realm or his sort of like setting was called Texlahoma. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
this is essentially it's gonna be we didn't even have swords. We had like it was guns.
Right.
It was D&D
With guns.
guns, and I was like, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I think we played maybe one or two sessions, and we're like, okay, we're gonna mix it up. Because like it wasn't. I feel like some of us didn't think it was like high fantasy enough, or at least more fantasy wise.
Yeah. Well, I think definitely when you have Texlahoma in there, I wouldn't be expecting fantasy.
Yeah,
You say Texlahoma, I'm immediately thinking Wild West.
yeah, exactly.
Right? That's immediately where my mind goes. I I think that's one thing that needs to be sort of a little bit established. What kind of genre you're gonna be like leaning on,
Mm-hmm.
so that the player characters know what to kind of prepare,
Mm-hmm.
right? What to get an idea of their character. Because if you're going like a mixture, then yeah, I think it's important to let them know, hey, we're gonna do a mixture of this, and sorry, there's something in my. We're gonna do a mixture of these two kind of themes. But when I do say when I say I enjoy adding a little bit of like that steampunk futuristic stuff, I enjoy putting it in there as part of like a lost civilization
Mm.
or something of some things of a bygone era.
Yep.
I really enjoy that, and I can't remember where I was first exposed to that.
I think they have some things about that in the DMG, no?
They do. But
Even like rules like, oh, if you want to use this certain thing, you have to roll an intelligence check to see if you know how to even like
yeah,
work it.
they have like alien guns.
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
shit.
exactly. Rail guns and
Oh,
fucking.
yes. But there was something. It probably came from like Skyrim too, maybe a little bit of Skyrim. You know how
The Dwemer.
the Dwemer, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they have all this sort of technology, quote unquote technology, gear stuff, all that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think maybe maybe it came a little bit from that, or maybe from something else.
Yeah.
My exposure to it because it's something that I really enjoy
Mm-hmm.
putting out there, like a mystery of a bygone world.
Yeah.
Um,
So painting the picture, right?
yeah, that's how I do it. I paint the picture in my head whenever I tell a story or whenever I'm involved in a story.
Okay.
Anytime I'm a player, like I have images in my mind and they are being created as the story is being told.
Man, and again, that's one of my faults as a DM. I feel like for the first one or two sessions, I give that detail, right? Of the session, I'm like, oh, you're in this forest. It's creepy as fuck. All
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
you're into it, right? You're describing details. You describe this wolf as rabid and just some of its body's
It's just a lot of
decaying
like
detail,
detail,
right?
and then
And
after
like
the
try to get them in, right?
yeah.
Try to get those players in and like all invested, right? But then after like maybe episode 4 or session 4 or 5, you're just like, yeah, man, you're near a cliff and
You come
fuck,
across a girl. You know what I think it is? I feel like maybe
complacency. I feel like I grow complacent.
yeah. I think it's like you want to introduce them to it so they can be like, oh yeah, this is gonna be good,
Hmm.
and then maybe you don't get the reaction that maybe you want.
Yeah.
So then
Oh,
you're just like, all right, well,
that's heartbreaking.
I guess whatever.
I've gotten that before
Yeah.
where it was like fucking heart wrenching where like I like turned red. So I I introduced the party to like a bard. The bard was a mentor of one of the other characters.
Yeah.
So he's like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna play a song. So there's this YouTuber, I don't remember his name, but he does covers of popular songs, but in very like bardcore,
Yeah.
very old sort of ways. I think the cover was House of the Rising Sun
Oh.
in 14th century French, old French.
Yeah.
So I put it on, and I'm like, okay, who speaks Elvish here? And I think only two of them. So I gave them the sheet. I wrote this down. Like I followed the text. I switched out a couple things because it was like New Orleans. So I switched out the name of some things to other things to match in Faerun. And I think he's changed it to the it's not House of the Rising Sun. I think I called it Manor of the Dawn.
Yeah.
The name of the song was Manor of the Dawn. And yeah, I gave this out and I put the song on while they were just like role playing, and they're just like I didn't get the reactions I wanted. Like it was just like very like what the fuck is this? And I was just like
Yeah.
I just felt like got punched.
Yeah.
Um.
You know, so there's this fucking thing I do that I haven't told anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's gonna be perfect to put it on a podcast.
Okay.
So there's this thing I do where somebody is telling me something. So it's like I say something that I think is true, that I think is a fact.
Okay.
That somebody corrects me. So like I say it, but it's confusing to them because I'm fucking wrong. Basically, I'm wrong about what I'm trying to say. And then somebody says, "Oh, do you mean this? And it's not what I meant,
Mm-hmm.
but they are right and I was wrong.
Are you talking about like a ruling maybe?
No, I'm talking about like in real life.
In real life.
I'm talking about fucking real life,
Okay.
man.
Okay, so
It's I'm telling them something, and I can't explain it, and they're like, oh, did you mean this? And it's not what I meant because I was wrong, but it is what I was trying to say.
you're trying to convey this.
I was
Yeah.
trying to convey this, but I was completely wrong. Like
Okay.
I'm way off.
Way left field.
But instead of saying, you know what, I was wrong, that was it. I'm like, yeah, that's what I was trying to say. I do it every fucking time,
You
dude.
piggyback off that.
I
that
piggyback
correct,
off of
yeah.
it, and it's so fucking like I feel so fucking embarrassed every time
Mhm.
because it's such a because I don't want to be wrong about it.
Yeah.
I don't. It's like it happens a lot when I feel that I was supposed to be right.
Mhm.
You know, where I was like, oh, I shouldn't be wrong because it's that simple, right? And so I do it so fucking often, so fucking often, and
Yeah.
I don't say anything afterwards.
Mhm.
I'm just like, that was it. That's what I meant. They're like, okay, yeah, just this, or uh, or whenever it's, it's I fucking, and I try to stop myself from doing it.
Yeah.
Like it happens, and then I tell myself, okay, I'm not gonna do it again.
Mhm.
I'm gonna catch myself, but then it happens automatically, where I'm not even trying, where it just comes out, and then I don't look like a fool. I just look like someone who was trying to explain something, but wasn't able to explain it correctly, and then somebody knew what I was talking
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
when I was explaining something completely different. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It happens. It happens so fucking often. Not often, but when it does happen,
It's,
it fucking bothers
it
me.
doesn't happen to me. All right.
All
Like,
right.
it's I'm usually the one correcting. No, but I get what you mean. No, I get what you
Yeah,
mean. I can take it when I'm like, hey, I fucked up.
yeah,
Like I can be that guy that's like, oh yeah, no, oh, my bad. Yeah, no, you're right.
yeah.
Let me look that shit up. Yeah, that
Yeah.
happens all the time. Where it's like,
Well, the thing is,
you look it up.
it's like it's different from because I admit when I'm wrong. I admit when I'm wrong. It's when I believe that I'm right. That
Yeah.
but my belief, I'm not able to explain it, right? Like what I think is right, I'm not able to explain it well enough.
Mhm.
But they pick up on the pieces that are correct,
Yeah.
and they're like, oh, you mean this, and I'm like, that's it,
Yep.
yeah,
That happened that happened to me and my partner. I think we were talking about like, man, I've never been to a mountain. I've never been to the Appalachian Mountains or something like that.
yeah.
Something to that effect. And she's like, what? I'm like, no, I've never been. Like, I've been to like, we went to Colorado and we've been to those mountains, right? But I've never been over there. And she looks at me and she's like, you're kidding me. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm in Texas. There's no mountain in Texas. It's hill country.
Yeah.
And she's like, are you serious? Are you being a fool right now? You've been to Grandfather Mountain.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh shit, is that part of the Appalachian? She's like, yeah.
Yeah.
So I just feel like a fucking fool. I have to Google this shit. I'm like, wait a minute. Third highest, second highest peak. Oh shit.
Yeah.
You're right. You know what? I'm sorry.
Okay, so this is
But I hate that they don't correct you immediately.
right.
They let you drag on like a fucking idiot.
Oh, she lets me drag
Oh,
like a
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
idiot.
She lets me drag on like a goddamn idiot.
No,
They don't
okay.
correct me immediately. They just like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, no, whatever, yeah, and just keep
No.
driving, going 80.
So for me, it's okay. Here's a good example. So with this Appalachian Mountain example, let's say we're looking at a map,
Yeah.
or at something, whatever, and like, oh yeah, this is the Appalachian the mountains, and then like, what those mountains right there? I'm like, yeah. Like, those aren't the Appalachian Mountains. Those are the Appalachian Mountains. I'm like, Appalachian Mountains, and they're like, yeah. I'm like, oh, you know what? I was thinking about the other mountain range. I was thinking about the other one,
The Rockies.
the Rockies. That's what I was thinking about.
That's
I gotta
exactly
make
what
the-
I was thinking about too.
But that's I don't admit that I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh no, I was thinking about this other one because I don't want to look like a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh yeah, the Appalachian. Yeah, it's just sometimes I just get and I just start making fucking excuses. Oh, I get my West Coast and my East Coast mixed up, and it's just. And I'm trying to like stop it. I'm trying to not fucking do that anymore.
You
But
want to admit, like,
I want, and there's that, and there's stuff where like I admit when I'm wrong. Like there are times when, and often, I admit when I'm wrong. But these things for some reason,
you don't want to look like the fool.
I think I don't want to look like a fool in front of people that I don't want them to think that I'm a fool.
Yeah.
Like if it's somebody completely else, I don't fucking care what they think about me. But if it's somebody that like, oh, I want them to think good about me,
Yeah.
then I need to like fucking put up a facade that I knew.
Yeah,
what
I
it
knew
was.
about it.
Yeah, because I don't want them to think, oh, he's a fucking idiot.
Speaking of Appalachian Mountains, I would have to look at the article again, but I thought it was like a inst- inst- interesting bit of trivia. Supposedly they're older than like dirt, or like older than fossils. The Appalachian Mountains are older than fossils.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised.
Like a lot of people will say it's like almost like primal Earth. Like there's no the it's not actual like fossil sediments and that kind of stuff. It's like this is like Earth, right?
Yeah, yeah, like
Like beginning Earth.
the bottom layer of when
Yeah,
they have
and it's withered down so much, but it's still Earth compared to like other other mountains that they can find like
yeah.
sediments, and they can find fossils in them and all that, right? That shit's older than some rocks, right?
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting. I'll have to look at the article again, but it was just interesting, like how like a lot of people are like, say, oh, the Appalachian Mountains are like almost primal, and they're like there's always those fucking ghost stories around them, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
don't go wandering over them them old hills or mountains.
Oh,
right?
hills, stay away
Dun,
from
dun, 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 and you just
you
fucking,
hear banjo?
yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if that were true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I wouldn't
I
be surprised.
I mean, the way mountains are formed, you have like the tectonic plates that they
Mhm.
just fucking collapse. So to get that high, I mean,
But they're not that high. Not to like.
or to get that range.
Well, it's just that they've been so weathered over like eons, right? They've been
Yeah.
just fucking weathered.
Yeah. I went to a Pikes Peak, Colorado once.
I have been there too.
Yeah,
I went there during a storm though.
I do not.
I
I went
did.
there during the summer. I was working a job as a translator.
Lucky bastard.
Yeah.
So I got to the right. You go to the peak, right? I got to the peak.
You drive.
I got to the peak. We got out the car. 2-3 minutes later, snowstorm. Like they're like, we need y'all to head down now.
Yeah.
We're like, because they told us on the thing, we're like, well, we're expecting a storm. So go up there. Hopefully everything's good. I'm like, okay, how far is the drive? It's only like 10 miles, right? Oh, it's like 45 minutes.
Yeah, because you gotta zigzag your way to the top.
Granted, I did this in the Fiat.
In the Fiat.
The Fiat 500 did this.
That Fiat is a fucking beast.
Yeah, and we were like, me and her thinking, we're like, well, it's Italian. It's made for fucking hillside. It's made for mountains, right? That's all Italy is.
Of course.
So it's gonna make it. And sure enough, it makes it, right? But driving downwards, you can smell the fucking brakes just dying.
Yeah, they
right?
tell you to put it like in neutral,
Mhm.
and just kind of, or like in 30 or something
like that.
some shit like that.
But
I had a run when I was
I actually did get sick going all that way high up. I got sick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I got like dizzy, nauseated.
Oh yeah.
My limbs were feeling numbish.
Mhm.
So I
The
was
lack
like,
of oxygen, son.
yeah. I was like, hey, I told my partner, I was like, hey, I need you to take over. Like, I can't drive. I need you to take over. And she's like, no, it's too scary. I don't want to. It's
you can't feel your arms and
like,
shit.
yeah, like exactly. I was not feeling good. And she's like, no, it's too scary. Like, look at the fucking turns on this.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. I'm
God
getting
help us.
frustrated. Yeah, I'm getting frustrated because like, hey, if I go to sleep, we're going off that cliff.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. First of all, thanks. Second of all, I unbuckle my shit and I get out of the car. I pull up, turn on the emergency brakes, get out of the car, try to get some oxygen in my lungs and just stretch and just try to work my way out, you know. And then I get back in the car and drive down fucking Pikes Peak. It was a horror story, by the way, because we made the trip we're half tank.
Yeah.
We're like, easily, we'll make it. Don't worry about it, dude. Oh, that it almost ate our gas tank. We thought we had more than enough.
Yeah.
It ate our fucking gas tank. We didn't think we were gonna make it down there. We didn't think we were gonna make it to the bottom.
Hey, just put that bitch in neutral and just
Yeah, we made it to the bottom, and we're like, okay, we gotta find a gas. We gotta go find a gas station right now. And the nearest gas station is like 15 miles. Because it's like all mountain, and then like fucking like $3-4 for gas over there, right? It's like it's fucking bullshit. But and then at the gas station they had these little cans with oxygen. So I'm like, I'll remember this for next time.
Yeah.
Take a couple of those bad boys,
Yeah.
snort some real good shit, right? But yeah, that was my story. That was my Pike Peak story.
Yeah.
What's your Pike Peak story?
Mine was a little bit better.
Okay.
Yeah, I went over there. I was in Colorado. I was in Boulder for a day, and then I was like in a different city every day.
I think I stayed at Colorado Springs.
I stayed in Colorado Springs.
Oh,
too.
okay.
Lovely place.
Yeah, it's nice.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
During the summer, so much green.
Oh,
So much fucking green.
nice.
I loved it. I was gonna move back there after Japan.
Mm,
I didn't, by the way.
I see that.
I came here.
I see it.
So we had a Yukon, GMC.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So
What, you went by yourself or?
no, it was me and a guy from Mexico. He was a welder. So he was a welder. I was a translator, going from place to place doing recalls on for Chrysler.
Okay.
And we got there. We got there like a day early. So I was like, hey, let's go travel. Let's go look around. All right. So we went. We got to Pikes Peak. We started driving up, and yeah, it was a long fucking drive. Just
Yeah.
you know. And I felt safe on the Yukon, but once I saw a glimpse of that edge, I was like,
Yeah.
this thing tumbles.
Those fucking edges, man.
SUVs roll. They roll.
Yeah. Exactly. And you're just like, God, I wish I had
Yeah.
a Jeep right now.
It's not the first time I was on a fucking edge like that.
Hmm.
There's two more other times where I was on fucking ledges like that.
Yeah.
One of the time I was driving and, anyways,
The Fiat makes it so easily though, right?
oh yeah.
Fucking
Small.
just
Yeah,
Tokyo
you can-
drifting
Yeah,
edges.
you can fucking.
But it's
swing on
scarier when a car is coming to your edge, right?
Yeah,
And you're just like, okay, I guess I'll move to the over the edge and I'll just
closer.
yeah, let me just tumble off.
Yeah.
Right away, sir. Right
Go
away.
ahead, go ahead.
You get it.
And so we get to the top, and it's the summer. So down at the bottom is about 84.
Was it
85.
the summer of '69?
All right. Thanks for listening, folks.
We're done here.
We're done.
We won.
We won. So it was like 84, 85
Uh-huh.
down at the bottom. We got to the top, and it was 40.
Oh.
And I was wearing shorts and a t-shirt.
Mm.
And I was like, brisk. And I was like walking around, and I took some pictures, and I started getting dizzy. And I was like, oh boy, that oxygen's
Oh yeah.
leaving my brain.
Did you see the little Bigfoot crossing sign at Pikes Peak?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need to get some food in my system.
Yeah.
So I went, because they got a restaurant up there.
Yeah,
So they
yeah.
had,
Yeah.
like a restaurant.
We tried going there and no, it was
Yeah.
blizzard out. Or
So-
it was closed for the fall because we went around Novemberish.
Yeah. So I went and I got like a burger and like some stuff, and I sat down. It was really nice. I sat down on a rock, looking at like the view that was down there, and I was just
Tossed your fucking wrapper away.
just
right
on
there.
the trees. And
Yeah.
I ate my food, and it was a good experience. It was a good
Mm.
experience. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed that summer doing that job.
Yeah.
It was really nice. And the guy who gave me the job, he was like, dude, please work for me more. I was like, I gotta go to college. For some reason.
For some reason.
For some reason.
Writing, right?
Right. Well, I think at the time I was studying accounting, and then I was studying accounting first
Mm-hmm.
because I was taking the safe route. I was like, this is safe, it's secure,
Money.
and then I played Dungeons and Dragons.
Yep.
No, that's wrong. And then you told me about Harmon Quest
Mm,
on VRV,
fucking amazing, by the way.
and I was like, oh, this is pretty good. I really enjoyed it. And I'm like, oh, I want to play Dungeons and Dragons now.
Yeah.
So I bought the starter kit. We got some people together. We played a little, one game, and
Fuck, we didn't know what we were doing.
I didn't know what the fuck I was doing.
We didn't know what the fuck we were doing.
But that game led me to this point.
Sparked it.
Sparked it. I was like, oh, because when I was in high school, I would write detective stories, like
Mhm.
fucking crime stories and shit like that.
Like
They weren't going anywhere.
Nancy Sue.
No, like fucking
No,
Miami Vice.
I know what you
Okay. I was thinking more Bad Boys.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, but I just
And so I think you mean Nancy Drew.
Sure, man.
That's easy.
You know what? I know when I'm wrong.
I know what it was.
But can you Google it, please?
And so it was that first game. I was like, I'll DM, I'll fucking do it.
Shit. Which one was it? It was
We did Pathfinder.
No,
not
no,
Pathfinder.
hell no. Phandalin.
Yeah, the Mines of Phandalin.
Mines of Phandelvin.
Yeah.
Wait. By the way, I don't know if Scott's listening. It's so trippy that he says it.
Phandalin?
Phandalin.
Yeah.
I always thought that was weird.
Well, he is Canadian.
I don't know if I'm wrong. Is it wrong? Are we wrong?
I think it's just the way he pronounces words. The way that we pronounce words.
I don't know, because I'm like, am I saying it wrong? But then I hear my friends say it, and I'm like, no, it's Phandalin.
Well, like I said, he's Canadian, so there are also
maybe it's pronunciation.
Yeah, his pronunciation on some words it is a little bit different.
Phandalin.
Yeah, and
I do like that though. It gives it more of a.
Me too. I like it.
It gives it more of a high fantasy or like.
Yeah, like it sounds more like.
Yeah.
Not normal.
Yeah, exactly. Not normal. Well, to us, to our brain.
to our brain, I think that's what it is.
normal.
To our brain, it doesn't sound normal.
Because we're just, Phandalin.
So when we say Phandalin or however he says it, I was like, oh.
Mm.
But yeah, that's what.
It's a bit play.
Yeah, that's what I was like. That's when it sparked again. I was like, man, I like this. I like this storytelling.
It was good.
And there was.
I think I have my fondest memory of Dungeons and Dragons during your campaign.
Oh,
again, my fondest memory was my death.
oh,
my fondest memory is my death. It was such a good death. And again, we didn't know how we're playing.
I did not know what we were.
We were just like, okay, we're in this fucking
it was
cave.
In a cave, yeah.
Or no, we were already in the mine, the main.
Yeah,
one.
in the mine.
Echo Wave. Yeah, we're already in Echo Wave. And we go against these spiders, and it's spiders. We're both, taking care of business. But my DM describes, hey, one of these spiders. Yeah, exactly. He describes, one of these spiders is climbing. I'm like, okay, I'll think nothing of it. He's retreating, coward, whatever. And then this happens for maybe 2 rounds, maybe. And then he says, okay, so this spider's just gonna put on a little luchador mask and fucking peep elbow. He has like spikes on his elbows and come down on you like the wrath of God. And I'm like, okay, cool. I mean, so what's happening? I'm just taking fall damage? And he was like, yeah, you'll just take fall damage. It's like, okay, how far is he falling? He's like, like 60, 70 feet. I'm like, So we rolled the dice. I think it was like, the fall damage is like 2d6 plus a d6 every 10 feet. It fucking outright kills me. It fucking squishes me. Oh god, such a fucking
spider with the luchador mask.
Yeah,
he pulls it out of somewhere, puts it on, taps that elbow, and goes flying.
It just flies down.
But once again, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing.
Exactly, it was just and but that was one of my fonder memories of Dungeons and Dragons, and
I'm glad to hear that.
Now I think about it, yeah, and you described it as a spider, but I don't know if you know the spider race. Have you seen the spider race in D&D?
I've never seen spiders racing.
Okay. I'll take that. I'll take that because of the shrimp fried rice jokes I give him. Wait a minute. Stop the podcast. You telling me a shrimp fried this rice?
You telling me a shrimp fried this rice? A shrimp.
A shrimp
fried. This rice. The one in front of me right now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't believe it.
You know what? Don't want it. No. But they're called edders.
Oh, okay.
Etter, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, edder or eddercap. But they're spider sort of humanoids. So I think that's like one of the races that they should probably bring into like the fold.
Yeah.
Right. Who like? God damn it! We have owl people, right? We have bunny people.
We have so many
just
fucking animals.
Bring the fucking spider.
You got some goop.
Like
you got goop.
You don't know how bad I want to play a gnoll. A gnoll, like a GNOLL.
It's available though.
No, they're not.
What do you mean? I've seen them. I'll take that back. I've seen it in this book, my Cthulhu Mythos one.
Ah.
Yeah.
I want to play one. That would be
I think
nice.
they have it actually. Open it up. Just
Snow people are pretty good. Hyena people getting that extra bite.
yeah.
I've seen a ruling on like someone made like a Dungeons and Dragons character thing built to race, and it was very well thought of. They did really good. It was balanced.
Oh no, it's a ghoul.
Look at that ghoul.
I thought they had nulls.
Mm.
And one of the and
So I have that guy's homebrew saved, and
yeah,
the only reason I saved it is because it has so many upvotes. That I'm like, I'm taking this.
right.
I would
right.
like to play one.
I've always wanted to play like maybe like a short, a short session of like monsters. Like we're all just monsters.
We're almost all just monsters on Saturday.
Yeah, but they're like good monsters, whatever.
Am I?
I say I put air quotes up here,
Yeah.
but quote unquote good monsters.
I would love to do a villain session.
I would love to. I mean, we've been talking about that for
God.
years.
Yeah,
I wanted to do villain.
I really enjoyed your paladin that you thought of.
The
Oathbreaker paladin.
Cassius.
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 Yeah, Cassius.
Cassius, the Oathbreaker paladin.
God,
I just love the idea of someone just not caring.
But those things sort of devolve. I hear from like Dungeons and Dragons masters that like played those and made those.
I think
and it just devolves into fucking lunacy. Like,
well, here's the
people are
thing.
killing people on the streets and all
Okay,
that.
so this is actually one topic that I wanted to talk about was like about evil,
Yeah.
right?
Perspective.
Perspective, right? But I think when a lot of people think about, oh, it's an evil character, which we talked about it in the last podcast, where it was like, oh, he's a murderer, he rapes, he does all this terrible shit. So you have to, so that's like the evil, right? But it's like, think about evil, like right now. Like evil isn't necessarily like I get it, the murderers and the killers and all, I get it, right? But in terms of the story, in terms of playing a character,
Look, listen.
that's
I
like
think
that seems like the easy route.
yeah, but evil is so like shaded in so many grays. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
and
I would
but I
call
think
like
that's
a corporation that charges like $200-$300 for diabetic medication. That's evil.
yeah,
Right.
But and that's exactly why I think that's what people need to be as player characters who want to do an evil campaign. They need to look at that and be like, oh, well, maybe I can do this. Maybe I'm just like a very like a bad person. I'm not going around killing people,
Yeah.
but I'm certainly not going around helping them with this thing that I can do for free, right?
Yeah.
Or for a very minimal price.
Yeah. No, I'm upcharging.
Exactly. There's so I read a book once called The Nazi and the Psychiatrist.
Okay.
It was a book about a psychiatrist who went to the Nuremberg trials, and he interviewed a bunch of Nazis. The goal was to figure out why they did these things. And his conclusion in a lot of it was like, and a lot of people were like, the Nazis are evil, the Nazis are evil, the Nazis are evil, right? Yeah. Nazis are evil. But it's not the I would say the classic evil, right? By classic evil I mean like
Mustache.
murder, mustache,
Cover you, put you on the train tracks. And...
Yeah. And what the psychiatrist found out was like a lot of these guys who did all these terrible things and signed off on all these terrible things, a lot of them were just looking out for themselves and their career.
Yeah.
That's what it was. It was, they were collecting art, they had zoos. A guy was like, well, I was doing it just for, up to advance up in the ranks of the
greed,
everything.
fame.
And it was like, oh,
pride.
it keeps my family safe.
Yeah.
So that's evil, right? So
Cutthroat world.
yeah. So it doesn't necessarily have to be like the murders that devolves into just killing.
So,
I think it needs to. The players need to understand that there's different layers that you can go through.
I don't think looking out for number one is evil, right? But having no empathy towards if you have to step over people's skulls in order to like look out for you. That's what they considered evil, right?
And that's what these guys did, right?
Yeah,
I'm like, if this guy dies, I take his place, assassinate him,
Yeah.
kill this person, kill that person, kill these people.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, I look out for number one all the time.
Yeah.
Me.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't do anything evil about it. I'm not like killing people and fucking screwing people over and fucking with their jobs.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just I think to do an evil campaign, the player characters need to be aware that the evil is a spectrum of different things that you can do. It doesn't necessarily have to just be you're a serial killer, fucking psychopath. It
Mm.
can definitely be that you are a serial killer, right? I mean, look at all these fucking Netflix shows about serial killers and
It's just
all the shit they do. It can,
tantalizing,
yeah. You can be like, you can be,
but it's because of the trauma, right? A lot of them it's because of trauma.
it could just be that they like it.
Yeah.
I mean, have you seen American Psycho?
With
Pat-
Patrick
Yeah,
Bateman,
Patrick Bateman, Batman,
Batman, yeah, Christian
Christian Bale.
Bale. Yeah,
Have you
of
seen it?
course I've seen it.
Yeah. So in that one, it's not. We don't see that he has any trauma. It's just he has. It's a so the director is
Social,
supposed to be like the
what is he,
director said that it
sociopath?
was. Yeah,
I think that was
he's like I just the urge to just take a life,
yeah, primal.
like it's there, and
It's in all of
so
us.
it's in all of us. And then so he's like this and all this shit, and throughout the movie he like slowly starts losing control and just starts
Mhm.
killing everybody, right?
Oh yeah.
But at the beginning he's like very like methodical.
Mm-hmm.
So it can be that the player character is that kind of like the methodical type, right?
Yeah.
And sure, maybe he does evolve later on into just killing
I
because
don't know if you've seen
whatever.
like people like they call them like typically like Bateman lovers, right? Like where their whole persona is based off that character. Like
Oh well,
what's
I
that?
I
What's
haven't
that
seen
guy
that.
that guy that we follow on Instagram that he built? He's a bodybuilder, but he's like
Oh, he wears the helmet.
yeah, yeah,
I
but
can't
he's
remember.
always like some of the things like the mailman delivering mail, and then it's just the garden gnome full of C4
Yeah,
waiting for the wind to go. That
yeah,
kind of thing, right?
yeah,
It's that sort of like it's almost like very Bateman like.
yeah. I think it's a very. So there's a video called "Literally Me"
Yeah.
on YouTube, where like there's this thing where like guys or see these characters and they're like, oh, that's literally
That's
me.
literally me.
Yeah, like
The
Patrick
guy,
Bateman.
the
You
guy
have
from Driver, literally me.
Yeah, so Ryan Gosling in Driver and in Blade Runner,
Yeah.
and in all these other guys who, let's be honest, have some issues, just to put it lightly.
Trauma.
But they feel like, oh, that's literally me.
Yeah.
And
I'm living that life.
you're really not.
Yeah.
It's really not. It's not the case.
Strange.
It's not the case. But I see the attraction to it,
Mm-hmm.
right?
The loner,
The loner who's like still kind of cool and quiet. They see themselves as a loner because maybe they are alone. And maybe they see like, oh look, he's actually really cool. Being like that is actually really cool. I'm kind of like that. I think some people take it seriously, for sure.
Too soon.
Too seriously.
Yeah.
And I think some people enjoy the memes. I
Mm.
enjoy the memes. Right?
I think it's a funny meme.
I think I think they're fucking hilarious. I think they're just funny.
Evil campaign. Your character idea. My character idea. You had Cassius, Oathbreaker. I always loved his story. Essentially wasn't it his sect? We're not good people.
Yeah, so he was basically so his background was that he
Human, right? Human
Human,
paladin,
yeah.
Oathbreaker paladin.
Oathbreaker Paladin. So he was the paladin of an actual like a good,
Yeah, good.
and he grew up in like a small town with like where he was raised and where he was raised to be a paladin, a defender,
Mm.
and they were sending him out to do these missions, and he believed that he was doing it for the good.
Yeah.
And
Almost like Crusader, like, right? Like,
yeah, and he was convinced. They had convinced him this is for like this is
the
for
good of the people and good of the land.
like you need to do this.
Those guys, bad people.
Those guys,
those
bad
bandits.
Yeah,
Really, they're probably just like trying to fend off for themselves, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
They were so it was like they point where he needs to go, and he would go and smite them.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And he truly believed that he was doing the right thing, right?
Yeah.
Young, manipulated, just all that stuff, right? And I can't remember exactly. I think there was a few different ideas I had as to how he turned into an Oathbreaker. I think one of them was he returned to discover that his sect were not what he believed.
Mm-hmm.
Like he found them doing something that he was like, I thought we were helping these people, and they're like, we are helping these people. We're helping them by like freeing them of like their lives,
Yeah.
their soul, their service, and that's what it was. And it was really just them establishing power. Like
Yeah, essentially like, hey, these people no longer have their land, but they're dead. It's the land of the church now.
is the land of the church now. All these people, yeah, it was them just taking for themselves. And he was like, well, I didn't. I thought I was helping people.
Hmm.
I thought I was defending like against bandits, and
Yeah.
I thought these people were.
Well, these people could never defend themselves. So why have
Yeah,
them have this land? Just
yeah. I thought these people were trying to take from us. You told me they were trying to take from us.
yeah.
So he snaps, right? He breaks and he kills the sect in his village. And he
Mhm.
kills them all, and
Made him callous. Right?
yeah, as a result, he broke his oath
Hmm.
to this god who he doesn't believe in anymore, right? So now it's just like he doesn't trust anyone. He's not gonna die. He's gonna go on and he's gonna do whatever it is that he needs to do
Yeah.
to live. But nobody's gonna tell him what he needs to do anymore.
Didn't you want? God, I couldn't. I don't remember his end game, right? But his end game was something to the effect of like, hey, whoever this god is, he deserves punishment as well, or something.
Yeah, for him it was like I'm gonna find this god and I'm gonna kill him.
Yeah.
Whatever, and I think that's what it was. That was his goal, and the means to get there, it didn't matter.
Whatever.
Like the means, 100% justified the end.
Yeah.
And I wanted it to, and I don't want it. I don't want it to be that. Oh, he's been doing bad stuff, and then somebody's like, "No, this is wrong," and then he's like, "Oh wow, this is wrong," and then he stops doing it. He changes.
Mm.
No. I don't want him to change. I need him to fulfill his destiny, to do whatever it takes to kill that god.
Mm.
I think that's what makes him a really good evil character. Where it's like, I don't care who you are in my way. This god has manipulated so many people. He needs to die
Mm-hmm.
because
It needs to be stopped.
it needs to be stopped. And if I don't, like thousands of more people will die than if I don't.
Well, I like the whole deal of like, hey, Faerun, like their whole thing is like the more believers this god has, the powerful it is. So I can totally see Cassius being like, what if he doesn't have any more believers?
Let me chop down the fucking believers.
Yeah, let me take down the church, chop down the believers. Maybe he'll get weak enough so I can kill him.
Yeah. He exposes himself.
Yeah,
right?
expose.
And the thing, and the what I want it to be is, and this is a character that if I were to play him, I would watch him. I would want him to reach the goal.
Oh, I would want to play these characters all the way to level 20.
Yeah, to their fulfillment.
Yeah.
For them to fulfill what it is that they're trying to fulfill,
Mhm.
the DM would have to be winning.
100% on board.
100%.
Yeah.
And that means that
Some heinous shit will go down.
some heinous shit will go down, but that also means that like it doesn't matter who he comes across. He could get in a fight with like a good paladin and lose, come back and like maybe kill him a different way,
Yeah.
right? But
Poison them.
poison him.
Well, poison paladin, yeah, whatever. You can't poison, whatever.
Use something, right?
Yeah, something.
But he needs to succeed.
Yeah.
Like Cassius needs to succeed in his goal to vanquish this guy that he believes wrong. And he'll say, and I think the thing to know is that Cassius will say, "Oh, I'm doing it because, like I said, thousands of more people will die if I don't." But in reality, he just wants revenge. He just wants revenge, and he doesn't care because he already for the sect that he was with for that church, he already killed kids and
He did what he had to do.
he did what he had to do because he believed that he was doing it right. That he believed, oh, these kids are, and it was all lies too. It was like, oh, these kids, oh, they've been infected by the blood of this demon.
Yeah.
You need to get rid of them, or it's gonna spread. So he did whatever he had to do. So what he's doing, it's nothing new. In terms of creativity, there might be some new things, right? But it's like I've already done it. My fate is sealed, right? Now I need to go do this, and nothing's gonna stop me.
Yeah.
And I
Even
think,
you know, like, would you go to the extent of like, hey, if I gotta make a deal, I'll make that deal, just so I know I can kill that god? Or would you rather him just be like, I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna do it my way?
I think he wants to do it his way.
Oh, gotcha.
Like I don't think he would trust making a deal with any god. I mean, it was the people of a god that manipulated him into doing all these things. I don't think he wouldn't trust any other god. I think he would just go straight. I'm gonna do it my way, and I think that's what's important. That he does it his way. That he proves to himself that he can do it, and then maybe he ascends and takes that god's place,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
And now he's a new evil god.
Yeah.
Right.
Um,
So now tell us about your wonderful
my
character.
my wonderful character. Okay, so he is a tiefling warlock named Ignis.
Mm-hmm.
Now, evil, matter of perspective, correct? Right? We've established that. So his whole thing is
Evil spectrum.
yeah, evil spectrum.
Yeah.
His whole thing is he's raised by a loving father, raised by a loving mother, tiefling. Um, but they are part of a religion, their church, Church of the Cleansing Flame or Flame of Rebirth, something to that effect,
Right.
right? Because flame, it's that destroyer, but also bringer of life, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They burn forests
Yeah,
to give, for the soil.
exactly. So his whole thing is like, only through penance, a daily penance, can you wash off your sin. So one of the things while he's a child or in his younger pubescent years is like they everyone's burned. They burn them, right? To cleanse off sin. So that's why his look is very scrawny, young, just small, and just covered in vestments, but also like bandages underneath that.
Yeah.
To cover all his burns and everything that he has to go through the daily life of his religion. So his father's the head of the religion. The father has a book. He is eventually, after a while, he is they're attacked by bandits, and they're not really bandits. These are adventurers that are destroying a cult.
Yeah.
So
I like that.
Yeah, they destroy the cult, kill his father, and essentially kill everyone except him because he's a child.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this child! What were they doing with him? They were burning him alive. Look at him. And the kid, and they let the mother live. They let the mother live because she read them out. She read the code out.
Mm-hmm.
She saw what was happening. Like she sort of like finally it sparked, right? Like, oh, this is bad.
Yeah.
And really the flame, the way I'm playing it is the flame is actually a demon. Like it's Mammon or one of the demons that like, oh, I'm deceiving y'all. Really,
Right.
y'all, whenever y'all burn these people, their souls come to me.
Yeah.
Keep doing it. Doing a good job. Here's my book. It has all my
He's got Mammon in a black turtleneck, and he's like with the L finger on his chin.
yeah. No, but it has his like commandments, his his things, right? His teachings, and it derives his power. So
Get the audiobook.
yeah, get the audiobook. And his father dies, and so he's putting in an orphanage. Whenever he comes to that age of 16, 17, 18, right? He goes back to the where it all happened, back to ground zero, and he finds the book. He finds the symbol or I usually say, oh, it's an ember, right, of that fire, right? That's like in a necklace. He finds that ember, that ever burning ember, and he finds the book, and he's like, okay, I will restore this church to its former glory. I'll turn this back. And one of his most evil things that he does that he doesn't think is evil is like he heads back to the orphanage. He says, look how I suffered in this orphanage and how these children still suffer in this orphanage, I will cleanse them. I will cleanse them so they are no longer in pain. They will be rebirthed, and through penance and flame, they will be reborn. So he burns down the orphanage and leaves.
Mm-hmm.
To whatever his, to his own devices. And again, that's heinous shit, right? Killing kids in an orphanage.
Yeah, of course.
But to him, he's more like...
Well, I mean, nobody wanted them anyways.
Yeah, right. Tally them up.
Tally them up.
No, but to him, he's like, he needed to do this.
Yeah.
It's
to him, he was doing them a service.
Yeah, a mercy killing, essentially, right? Like, essentially, right? It's a mercy killing. He was just like, living in throughout this, and then not knowing if you're ever really going to survive.
He's like,
just,
I have
just
the
be
power to help them.
yeah, just be reborn anew through my God. And I think one of the most compelling things that I really want to do with him, because he's so like twisted and so like so damaged, is like eventually he finds his mother. He finds his mother and he says, all is forgiven. Like, I know you meant well and all that. And when he embraces her, he just burns her, turns into cinders, and he'll keep her ashes. He's like, eventually one day we'll meet again. You'll be reborn again and we'll meet again. And all your sin will be washed away. I'll hold on to your sin. That's what I want to play. I want his end goal to be like that. He's being manipulated by his God, right?
Of course.
All these things are, he's doing these things for the good of, or for that he thinks he's doing it for good. All these things, even to his end, right? Where, so maybe maybe it is better to wash away this world in flame and just have a new cycle. And that's that I really want to play that character. And like thematically, he's a tiefling, so he's fire resistant. But I would also give him things like he's Pack of the Fiend, and he would have just fire spills up the ass.
Yeah.
So everything fire related under the sun, elemental depth fire, give it to him, everything. And I would really enjoy to like play him.
Well, the idea for them is also like that we would play them together.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But they would. I feel like they would have a conflicting relationship.
They would very conflicting.
Right.
Like,
Well, no, I think I think it would be conflicting because I feel like maybe Ignis would see as Cassius as someone who needs to be cleansed,
mhm.
but Cassius would just see Ignis and just pity him.
Yeah.
Look at you being controlled.
I also feel like Cassius would be like, well, you have some weight about you. You have some strength. You're charismatic. You have some, you have followers. That's essentially what he's gonna try to do, is get followers.
Yeah.
But and you maybe I can use you, right? I'll keep you around. You're useful.
Well, I think it would be if he had followers, then Cassius would be like, well, keep them out of my way. Keep them out of my way.
Yeah.
This is my objective. This is what I need to do. And I think so because
those followers can always be your followers. Remember that.
Yeah.
Eventually, if you want to take over that God's thing.
So it would depend on the god. Like if the god that Cassius is trying to kill, if he is an opponent of Ignis's god, then I think Ignis's god would be like, hey, help him out.
Yeah.
I know he's a little bit different. I know he's a little kooky,
Quirky. I know that.
Yeah, I know he likes almond butter.
Yeah.
And avocado toast. But
strange man.
Strange. But help him out.
Yeah.
Help him out. And you'll see the light. And Ignis would be like, of course, right?
Yeah.
And
got it, boss.
And Cassius would be like, sure. I'm gonna do this. And then, then if Cassius ascends, then you have two, like, I would assume evil gods that get along with each other. Yeah. I think that would be the best way for those two characters to work.
Yeah.
Would be like if the god that Cassius is trying to kill is a god that Ignis's god opposes. I think that.
Again, Ignis's god is just literally I think he's a demon prince. So he's like
even better.
Need it.
Yeah. Be like, oh, I might be able to take this guy down. And Cassius could be like, I don't want that. I just want him dead.
Yeah.
That's all I want. I want him dead. And then the demon prince could be like, well, shit, I'm down. I'm not a clown, right? I think how that could work.
I think I would love to do this, but we would have to get a DM that's on board. We would have to get a DM that like we have. These are our stories, and like this is what we're trying to accomplish, right?
Yeah. It's more like a fantasy to play out these characters.
Yeah, it is. Like, well, I mean, I think it's always nice to be front up with your DM, like, hey, this is what I want
Yeah,
for my
yeah. But I
character.
think also we would. I wouldn't want it to just be the two of us.
No,
We would need at least
I feel like the perfect number is like a group of four.
a group of four.
Group of four, max group of five.
And we
Group
would
of
have to
four.
be like, hey, we need you guys to make heinous characters,
Yeah.
but not murder hobo.
Yeah, not more.
Not murder
Like
hobos.
one can be like easily a thief. You know that like.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I steal from anyone, and my goal is to steal the Earth's core. I don't fucking know.
Like one of the other characters that I really enjoyed is like, I think I've introduced him. If you remember Dornez,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
okay, you remember Dornez. So I was thinking of a character concept for him, and like, okay, how did he get like that? How did he become like that? So I thought like, okay, he's an alchemist. His first life was an alchemist, and he just wants to live forever.
Mm-hmm.
And
Valid.
like, but not through lichdom, right?
Right.
No, I will find my way, and I will like, and essentially that's why when you see Dornez, you see in his mask, you see ooze, drink whatever he did, and it again he has no body now, but his body is in that suit now, right?
That's it. Yeah.
And now he lives forever. Now he can study magic. He can study anything under the sun now. And to this being that lives forever now, he essentially almost godlike powers because he's just studied over eons.
Yeah.
Right?
Everything that's come of the ages.
Yeah.
Every new science, every new magic.
Like
everything.
that's why he makes coins out of nothing, right?
Yeah.
Because you think, oh God, this guy's a god, right?
Yeah.
It's just maybe one of his magics, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Parlor
one of
tricks.
his parlor tricks, or his demiplane.
Yeah.
Well, he made it. He made it like 400 years ago. He
Yeah.
finally found out how to do it, and so that's my idea for like playing Dornez. But he's evil. Like he would have to do like heinous shit to make this concoction because there's no fucking potion of like,
live forever.
live forever. Exactly. So
Portion of immortality.
I was always thinking like, okay, you would need like something of a phoenix, the heart of a vampire,
Yeah.
things of this nature too.
And also, you would have to imagine that he would have to have experimented a lot.
Yeah, experiment
Just a lot of experiments and doing
Trial and error.
whatever it took to get to.
A lot of missing people.
Yeah.
Think of like the Full Metal Alchemist, the Philosopher's Stone. Hey, maybe all these people have to die for you to make this one fucking thing. That's evil as shit, but hey, I want to do it. I want to do it. So it's characters like that, like
Yeah.
characters that like, again, perspective evil, right? Spectrum evil, but that, and I don't know who. I don't know. Do we have people in our repertoire that can play these characters?
Not. I don't think not to the degree that we want to.
Mm.
I think if we did, we would still need a DM.
Mm-hmm.
That would be the thing.
Yeah.
We would still be in a DM.
Yeah. I think so too.
Unless we just boot up Skyrim and be like, oh, I'm gonna be a evil paladin.
Yeah.
Fucking crazy. I just want to play an evil character.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's just eventually, I feel like I have a core group of people that play, and some of them are really good, and like I always think like maybe I should mix up my two friends, right? Like get draft pick them, right? Some of them, like some of them, because like I think I really did enjoy Saturday games for like Straw too, because for a while I felt like Moon Scout and Mordai, Freddy and Star, they were really getting into it too, right?
Yeah, they definitely got into it, and
he still reminds me like, hey, so I'm like, we'll see whenever we have time to run that again, but I would I feel like eventually they can get to that point where, hey,
I think if we just play enough,
yeah,
right, you just have to play enough to get to
it has to be a little bit more on your mind, right?
Yeah, it needs to be something that you really want to look forward to, because if it's something that you're like, I just want to play again, But if you're not like have that itch, you're
Mhm.
gonna have a if you don't have a hankering for some D&D,
Yeah, like
then
I've had an itch, like, and fucking one of my other people give me shit about it, like where I'm like, I'm down, I'm down to play, whatever, and they're like, damn, like why, like chill out, like we'll play next week. I'm like, I mean, I'm available now, like let me know.
yeah.
And then like they sort of make like fun of me because of it, and I'm just like I get it, like you're not into it yet that much, but you it'll grow on you.
Yeah.
I
I
think as
mean,
long as you have a good DM and a good like group of friends, it grows on you very quickly.
oh yeah, I think the good DM and by good DM, I'm not saying like I'm not talking about like Matthew Mercer
No,
and
no,
all
no.
these mainstream DMs, and I say that in the kindest
In the kindest
way
way.
because they're very entertaining. I love Critical Role. I enjoy what I don't watch it anymore.
I don't watch as
I
much,
don't watch it as
right?
much.
Um, I do enjoy I think one of my favorite DMs was Jerry Hawkins,
Mm,
because like his wordplay was very good.
yeah,
I love his wordplay.
yeah. So when I say good DM, I don't mean that. I mean good for you and your friends.
Mhm.
To be honest, right? Because you can go to a game shop and you can
I've had bad DMs.
and yeah, and you played it and playing a game, and it's like, man, this guy might be good in terms of knowing his rules and things like that, but he's not good for me,
Yeah.
right? But you need to find the DM that's good for you, and the DM needs to find the players that are good for him, right? And
Because again, we get back to it. It's collaborative storytelling, right?
it is everybody's putting a little piece of themselves into their story. They're putting
Mhm.
a piece of themselves into the character. You're putting a piece of yourself into the story that you're telling, and you need to trust one another basically.
Mm.
And I know with the group of friends that we play with, that we play here in the States and online, um, I I've known them long enough. I've known everybody long enough to be like, okay, I trust like our current DM for their Saturday game.
Mhm.
I trust him. I trust him more than enough to be like, hey, like here's what my character. You can make this decision, this and that. Um, or he'll throw out some ideas and I'll roll with it.
Yeah.
I think that's an important thing. Is that trust?
What do you think about um? God, what do they call them? DMPCs, I think that's what they call.
Oh, like DMs that also
Play.
play a character.
Yeah. I think it's good for like when you have a small table, like three or
Yeah,
less.
because you need to like do some help. And I've done that before. I think.
Yeah, yeah. Same. I've done
Yeah,
that too.
a lot
But
of it has been more just like, here's a backup. Here's a player that you can have.
help you
Help.
out.
Yeah.
I think it's good, but like I also like don't want to take away from them, right? That's why I don't
Yeah.
I only play it if I have to.
Here's one thing I did when I was running a game for here before I went to Japan.
Hmm.
I think I had a character that I was playing as a DM, and I intentionally missed killing blows with him
Mm.
because I didn't want to get the killing blow.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be the one to do it. I wanted somebody else. So I would miss, like I would miss a hit, or I would, if it would hit, I'll be like, reduce the damage. I'm like, oh, he only rolled, he only got this, he only that. But that was, I didn't want to take that away
Mm.
from somebody else.
Yeah.
So I think that's just that's the yeah that's the one thing about it. Probably make a little heal bot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Something to that
maybe
effect.
like an automaton that
Oh, that's
just,
what I played. Yeah, Faith. Remember?
yeah.
I had Faith, which was just human cleric.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking like because automatons are available,
Hmm.
you can just have an automaton that's like a fucking R2D2.
Yeah.
It just like goes around and like does like not really fighting, but just helping out. It's like, oh, I need assist, and he goes and like zaps and gives somebody advantage,
Yep.
or stuff like that. I think that would be, I think, a really good route to take with
Yeah.
that,
I think
because
so
then
too.
because then it's like, oh man, and then it can be the players being like, hey, R2D2, help me out with this, instead of you saying, oh, I'm gonna go do this, as the players being like, hey, I'm gonna send him over there, or you can give the player that.
Well, it's almost
control.
like when
A fucking
when
pet.
it's only it's almost like when they fucking the group adopts the fucking Bobble the Goblo.
Yeah.
It's almost to the same fucking
Yeah.
effect, right? Where
And
it's
it
like
could, yeah.
they grow an attachment to this weird sentient thing, trash can or whatever,
Yeah.
and they grow attachments, and then eventually when it dies, they're oh my god, right?
Yeah. I think that would be a better route than to be
Yeah,
a
I think
player
so too.
character.
Yeah, I think so
Someone
too.
they can control very easily, like they have a monster sheet.
Yeah, I think so too.
I don't. I think we touched on.
I don't think we touched on anything, but I think the subjects that
No,
we
we
did,
touched on some stuff.
yeah, I think the subjects that we did talk about were really nice.
Yeah. So same time next week.
Same time next week.
Uh,
God forbid anything happens. Same time next week.
well, Cassius will have something to say.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I again scheduling. I always have to check it, but if they're like this, then yeah, I should be able to make it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I won't take no for an answer, so
Oh shit!
be here.
Just set up, put your setup in a fucking van and just pull me in.
Yeah, just roll up in the van.
Yeah.
FBI surveillance.
Yeah.
I'll just do that.
Oh my god. Yep.
All right. They just did it like that.
All right. Thanks for watching and just.
Oh, thanks for watching.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. What is it? Yumi and Dice.
Hey, thanks for watching Yumi and Dice.
Yeah, I think.
I wasn't gonna put an outro. Be like, just ended at a conversation. I was thinking that would be fun.
So, anyways,
You can find us on Patreon.
Patreon, Spotify, like, subscribe, ring the bell, dangle your
I didn't even go over that.
dangle your butt.
Here I was trying to end something mid sentence. Yeah, you guys can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Spotify under Yumi and Dice. And then on YouTube, there's actually a link to a Patreon if you want to send some cheddar our way because you like us. And that's it.
And then with to help with the algorithm, liking and all that stuff. Right?
Yeah, liking, leave a comment, let us know what you think on YouTube.
Yeah, on YouTube, right? I already had people come up to me and say, "Hey, yeah, how about this?" And I'm like, "Oh, by the way," so I did get a really good comment about this, right?
Yeah.
The guy was like, "Hey, when can I come on?"
Oh wow!
And I was like, "Holy shit! Okay, this is episode 1. Chill out."
Yeah.
But he's like, just like, "Oh yeah, I always think podcasts are interesting. So I would like whenever that happens, right?
Yeah.
You let me know, and I would like to jump on."
I was thinking about having
guest
guests.
speakers. Yeah.
Having guest speakers. I was thinking we get some episodes in, right?
Yeah.
You and I, we get some maybe 10, 15
I think
episodes.
10. I think 10's a great number.
10 episodes in, and then maybe we can have a first guest.
Yeah.
See who we can bring along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Alright.
That works with me.
Well,
Bye, everybody.
all right. I guess I'll say bye to.
I mean,
No,
au revoir.
Au
Adios.
revoir. Yeah.
Don't let the door slap your ass on the way out. I don't know.
That works.